Hello and welcome to it's the fourth now, isn't it? I've been doing this a week. It's just before 11 o'clock, so I thought I'd come in early to give people a chance to sort of get settled and catch up. If you're new to the class, you'll need a chair, either a kitchen chair or a dining room chair, but a chair without arms. I don't suppose it matters where you get the chair from, as long as it has no arms. I don't know if you listened to Women's Hour yesterday, but if you did, you will have heard Professor Janet Lord saying how important exercise is for the immune system. I knew it was important for muscles and bones and all the rest of it, but moving your muscles and having healthy muscles keeps your immune system like that of a younger person. Interesting stuff, isn't it? Right, what time is it now? I make it to about 40 seconds past 11. I'll wait till it says 11:01 and then we'll get going. We're going to do a warm-up. I don't know why I do this, but I see it in 3 compartments. A warm-up, a main section, and then stretching. So we'll start with a warm-up. I'll be moving backwards and forwards so that sometimes you can see my feet. I don't have a long enough room. I need more of a banqueting hall, I think. Obviously, my house is too small. I will have to go and buy a new house, I think. Right, as far I make it 1 minute past 11, so we'll get started now. I was going to say something, but I can't remember what it was. Never mind. Right, so first of all, we're just going to start by marching, just very, very gently. Moving your arms, don't have your arms down by your sides. Move your arms because you want your shoulders to mobilise. When we're warming up, when we're getting our muscles warm, what we're doing is we're getting the muscles warm so that they're ready for exercise. But also, as importantly, we're mobilising joints. And in your joints, you have a type of fluid called synovial fluid, if you want to be exact. And when we exercise, when we warm up, that fluid gets thinner, so it sort of lubricates your joints. Also, it has nutrients in it, so it sort of feeds your cartilage. So exercise, far from wearing your joints down, actually does help your joints. So we're just doing I'm going to go back to show you my feet are hardly moving at all, hardly coming off the floor at all. Okay, so we're just going to do that. It's just very gentle, just to begin with, to prepare your body. I keep going too far. If I go too far, my head gets cut off. Right, so what we're going to do is we're just going to do a little bit of stretching. When you're exercising, you always have your feet hip width apart. So, hands on your shoulders, up to the ceiling, back down to your shoulders, push out as far as you can. Really, really try and reach that thing that's just beyond your reach. Back in again, and then forward. Oh, can't quite reach it. Don't move forward. Keep your back straight. We're going to do that twice more. So up to the ceiling, back down, out, back in, forward, back. Up. If you can't get your arms like this, if you can only get them to there, that's absolutely fine. Don't force it, okay? If you force it, you risk damaging your shoulder joint. So if you can get your hands there, fabulous. If you can't, just take them to there. It will come eventually, okay? So stretching, 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 back down, out to the side, back in, out to the front. Okay? Right, we're going to do a bit more marching now, a little bit more energetically. Just lifting your feet a little bit higher. If you can, do it on your toes, and also have a listen. And you shouldn't hear, I can't do this, you probably won't be able to hear this, but I can hear, my feet are flapping down. Just put your feet down so as you can't hear them moving. You can't hear them landing. Right, so just a little bit more vigorously, and your toes. We'll just do that for about 5 more seconds. 3, 2, 1, and then stop. You're going to put your hand on your shoulder to make like a bird's wing, and imagine you've got a pencil sticking out your elbow and an imaginary wall. And we're going to go back and draw a big circle on the wall 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we're going to come forwards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we're going to do the other one. Don't forget the pencil. Just have a check to see where your arm is. Make sure it is sticking out to the side. And we're going to go back. 1, try and get full range of movement. 2, without hurting. 3, 4, 5, and then forwards. 1, 2, 3, 4. Trouble with shoulder is it's a really good joint. It's very mobile, so you can go forwards and backwards and up and down and round and round. And because of that, it's not very stable sometimes, so you can injure it quite easily. And I know quite a lot of older people have frozen shoulders and have injured themselves, rotator cuffs and all sorts of things. So you need to be careful with your shoulder. Right, what we're going to do now, going back, so as you can see, we're going to do some heel digs. Just digging your heel in like that. Toe pulled back, toe pulled right back. We're just going to do that nice and gentle. We don't have to go too fast. And this is good because the leg that's not moving is still moving, as it were. It's taking taking more or less the whole weight of your body. So it's having to work as well. And the knee is bending slightly. What we're going to do, keep doing that. What we're going to do at the same time, opposite arm and leg, anchor your elbows in by your waist, by your side, and we're going to keep doing the heel digs, but we're going to do opposite arm and leg. Okay? Make sure you're doing opposite arm and leg. Just have a look down and think, because quite a lot of times, people think they're doing opposite arm and leg, but they look down and they discover that their brain has fooled them and that they're doing the same arm and leg. Okay? We'll do 5 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right, this time we're going to start off, not hands, start off just putting your leg out to the side. You put your hands on your hips, down by your sides, anywhere you like. I'm putting mine on my hips because I don't know where else to put them. Hands out, legs out to the side. Legs and hands, getting those mixed up. You can tell I'm a trained professional, can't you? I wonder what the neighbours think when they go past, because I open the curtains I open the blinds so that there's enough light. I don't know if they can see in. Right, what we're going to do is prayer hands, and at the same time as we go out, we open the hands. So out like that. I'm just going to keep going. I'm just going to move the chair because I'm getting caught up in the chair a bit. Right. Yeah, just because I stop and exercise doesn't mean to say you can stop. In fact, you have to keep going until I tell you to stop, because that's how powerful I am. Right. We'll do another 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, good. The next one we're going to do is we're just going to stand back. Just take your foot back. Not very far. And if you want, you can hold on. I'm holding on. Well, I can hold on. I'm not going to, but I can hold on to the banisters, because stepping back is slightly unnatural and it can overbalance you. Okay? You're just going to step back slightly. Now keep doing it. Keep doing it. Now at the same time, little hands here. Step back, hands out. Nice jazz hands. Open your fingers. Give your hands a bit of a stretch. Okay? Don't step back too far. And this is good because when you're doing this, the leg that isn't moving is bending, so you're doing a sort of squat on it. So it's quite useful for those thigh muscles and your bum muscles, your glutes. Those are the biggest muscles in the body. And so they're very powerful. They need to be exercised. I'm going to step back a bit because my head's disappearing again. I obviously haven't adjusted the camera very well. Okay, we'll do 5 more, sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right, now we're just going to do a bit more shoulder work. So unleash your inner teenager and do a shrug. Try not to bring your head down. It's only your shoulders that move up and then down. Imagine your shoulder blades sliding up and down. That's all it is. 4, 5, we'll do one more, I can feel mine creaking, 6, okay? Lastly, we're going to do some shoulder rolls. So bring them up and round and there. We're going to do 5, 2, 3, nice and slowly, 4, 5. I think it'd be quite difficult to do these quickly actually. Forward, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I find that quite tiring on those muscles here at the back. Right, finally, we're going to put those heel digs, leg out to the side and standing back. We're going to put those all together and do a little routine because that'll keep us going, okay? I'll call out. So, we do heel dig, opposite arm and leg, heel dig, side, side, back, back again, heel dig, side, side, back, back, heel dig, side, side, back, back, again, heel dig, side, side, back. Can you do it a bit faster? Heel dig, side, side, back, back. Heel dig, side, side, back, back. Heel dig, side, side, back. One more time. Heel dig, side, side, back, back. Good. Right, are we all nice and warmed up now? My carpet's rocking up. Right, are we all nice and warmed up? Right, the first exercise we're going to do is the good old squat. Those of you that know what you're doing, you can start squatting while I'm talking, although I would advise you not to go into a very deep squat because it might take you, you might be squatting for some time. Those of you who who are new to the class, what I would suggest, if you're not able to do a squat is sitting down without the chair. So what I'd like you to do is to sit in the chair, knees at 90 degrees, and just stand up without using your hands and then sit down again. If that's easy, then we can go into a squat. If you can't stand up, use your hands if you want, but then don't use them to go down. Okay, so use your hands, or you can swing. Okay, if you're squatting, make sure your feet are wide apart, hip width apart, and you're going down, but your knees, I'm going to have to go back here, your knees are not going over your feet, you're not going like this. I saw actually an exerciser on television yesterday, who will remain anonymous, who was doing this. It's back, you've got to stick your bottom out and go back, okay? So I'm going to do 5 on the chair and 5 squats. Okay, so 1 and down. When you go up, sort of push your pelvis forward to stretch the hip flexors, and then down again. Don't just fall back into the chair. Is that 3? Yeah, control the descent and try and keep your back straight. 4, 5, and then down, and then you keep going on the chair. I'm going to do 6. You don't have to go down very far, you go down there. 7, 8, as long as you're sitting back. 9, 10. Right, how was that? I hope some people have said that they find that particularly difficult. The getting in and out of the chair is even difficult for them, but I hope you're continuing with it and making progress. There are lots of ways that we can adapt it, so if you're having difficulty, just drop me a message after the class and I'll try and find, I'll talk you through it, okay? Right, the next one we're going to do is an arm one. I'm going to try and alternate arms and legs. I'm standing side on so that you can see what I'm doing. Stand with your hands on your front of your hips. You're just going to raise one arm there and then the other one. Okay, that's quite easy to do. Try not to lean back as you're doing it. And also, you can pull the down arm back. It's not just going to your side, it's going back a bit. That's when it's easy to do that. So we're going to do 10. I know we've done a few already. So 1, it's only your arms that move. 2, feet hip width apart. 3, 4, 5, 6. I should have mentioned the core before, shouldn't I? 7. How to do your core. 8, 9, 10. Fantastic. Right, the next one is hip abduction. So we're just going to stand at the side or hold on to the chair, and one leg is just going to go up to the side like that, with your toe pointing in the way you're looking. Don't turn your toe, just in the way you were looking, okay? And don't kick it, don't sort of kick it like that, because that gives you momentum. So standing straight, engage your core. Remember how to do that. Breathe out, pull your navel into your backbone, and then relax it slightly, but hold it. But still breathe. Breathing is to be encouraged. Right, so up. We're going to do 10 of these. 2. These are very good for these muscles here. 3, make your glutes strong. 4, good for getting up and down stairs. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm definitely getting better at these, actually. I hope some of you are noticing, or most of you are noticing an improvement, because it doesn't take long for improvement to happen when you're doing exercises. Just going to go over this way a bit in case I bump into the couch. Right, the other leg. Remember, keeping your foot facing forward. So 1, 2, nice and controlled. Do it the same speed as I'm doing it. 3, not as good on this side. 4, 5. It's now I find difficulty speaking without my voice quavering. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. How was that? It's definitely finding it getting easier. I may have to ramp it up to 12. Right, what we're going to do now is we're going to make your heart pump a little bit. We're going to put your hands here, like that, but don't move your hands at all. Only your knee moves. Your knee comes up. You can stick it out to the side if you want. Your knee comes up to touch your hands. And if you can, do it on your toes. Okay? If that's easy peasy, oops, do it sideways. Okay? It's entirely up to you which way you do it. Do the way that makes you feel as if you're getting a bit of benefit from it, but you're not exhausting yourself. So you can do it like this. You don't have to be on your toes. Or, well, I'm speaking doing this. I hope you're all doing it, not waiting for me to stop. Or you can do it on your toes. Or you can do it side to side. Okay? The longer I talk, the longer you have to do it. We'll do it for another 10 seconds. Okay? You're feeling I'm wobbling here, wobbling backwards and forwards here. Really, I should be able to do it, stay in exactly the same spot, but my balance isn't that good. Right, I think, oh, I was looking at the minute hand, not the second hand. Sorry about that. Right, so next one is an arm exercise. Very simple, hands by your sides, feet hip width apart, engage your core, Turn your hands out so they're facing outwards and lift up like that. Just touch them overhead, turn them round again and push back down. Do this nice and slowly, and when you're doing it, pretend the air is very heavy. Oh, it's so heavy. Having a struggle to do it. And then turn it round again, and it's really heavy. That's 2. We're going to do 10. Turn it round, lift up, and then turn it round and back down. 3. Turn it round again. That heavy air is just getting heavier and heavier. Turn it round. 4. Turn it round, up. This is really good for your shoulders. Turn it round and your back. But it's also good, it's good for your shoulder muscles, but it's good for your shoulder joints as well, and your elbows, because when you're turning your hands like that, it's turning your whole arm. Up and down. I've totally lost count, so we'll call this 7 and 8. Heavy air, remember. And 9. Oh. And one more. 10. Again, if you can't get your arms all the way over your head, that's absolutely fine. You can take it to there, but do it that way and then turn and down. So up that way, turn and down. Just, if you can get them over your head, that's good because it's full range of movement. But if you can't, having to squat here, if you can't, out to the side is fine. Okay? Right. What we're going to do now is I'm going to show you something. I don't know how this will work. I know that some people buy skipping ropes to try and keep fit. I don't know if you've used them, but in my opinion, skipping is one of the most boring things you can do. That may not be your experience, and if it's not, that's absolutely fine. But if you just jump for 2 minutes a day, it has amazing benefits for your knees and your muscles and your heart. So I'm just going to try this. Now, I know some of you won't want to do this because it's high impact. But if you do it like this, just go up and down on your toes, but don't let your feet leave the ground. You can do that if you want, just tiny little jumps. And my feet are just barely leaving the floor. Or just go up and down without. It's quite tiring, this, actually, not leaving the floor. Just up and down. I'll turn sideways. I'm going to hold on, actually, so as you can see what I'm doing. You see my feet are not actually leaving the floor. It's good for my knees because they're bending. It's good for my ankles because they're bending. And in fact, my legs are getting very, very tired. So let's just do this for another 10 seconds. Either jumping or just up and down on your toes, okay? So I'll look at the proper one this time. Yeah, we'll do it till the minute. You can use your arms when you're doing it. You can pretend you're skipping. Whew. Whew. It's quite tiring, that. I'd quite like some feedback on that, please, if people would be so kind. Right, you don't have to move for this one apart from your arm, you'll be glad to know. So I'm standing side on, so as you can see what my arm's doing. All the ones that we've been doing with the arms you can do with weights, and I talk about weights on the second class, but if you're not sure, again, drop me a message and I'll explain what I mean. It's not really the best time to go out and buy weights, is it? But you might have some friends that can borrow, or you might already have some. So with this one, standing up nice and straight, have your arm there, put your arm on your shoulder, your other hand on your shoulder, if you can. If you can't, it doesn't matter. But I just want you to do that to stop your shoulder moving, because we don't want to do that. It's just your arm that moves. 1, 2, 3. And as you do this, actually, if you do it in a mirror, you can see the tricep, the arm on the back of your arm, where your bingo wings are. 5, moving. 6, 7. And if you do this with a weight, it's very effective. 8, 9, 10. If you use your shoulder, it means that these muscles aren't working. Turning round to the other side, elbow up, and hold on to your shoulder. So it's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Very good. Right, because I'm a very cruel person, but because you're having strong thighs and strong glutes are so important, we're going to do another 10 squats or another 10 chair raises. If you can get up quite easily, but you can't quite do squats yet, what you can do is you can stand up, go down, but hover, and then sit down. So stand up, back down, but hover above the seat, and then sit. Stand up, go down, but hover. Right, I'm going to do squats this time rather than the chair. Okay, are we ready? I'll come a bit forward. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Only go down as far as you can. 5. To keep good technique. 6. You should be able to look ahead. You should be able to see my beautiful face on the screen. 7, 8. Don't look at the floor. 9, 10. Well done. Did you manage that? Right, we're going to do chest press. So hands like this, as if somebody's holding you up. Have your hands forward, your palms facing forward. You can either keep them open or clench them into fists. And we're just going to pull them in like that and then back out. We're going to do 10. Imagine there's a spring in between and you're having to close the spring. So 1, out, 2, and doing this with weights is good as well. 3, 4, 5. Oh, that spring is so stiff. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Very good. We're going to do the lovely side bend now, which I'm actually getting better at as well. For the side bend, I probably like to have my feet slightly wider than hip width apart. Okay, so we're going to do 5 on each side. So we'll go over to the side. If you want, you can put your hand over. If you've got difficult mobility in your shoulders, just keep your hand down there. It's absolutely fine. Try not to go forwards or back. And then up. Woo! And then go down again. Make sure that when you come up nice and slowly, because we don't want you getting dizzy. Down to 3. And then up. 4. 5. And then the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Excellent. Right, last one before we start the stretching. Take your thumb and hold it with your other hand, and hold your hands in front of you so as you're doing a V. Feet hip width apart. I should always tell you to engage your core, so oh no, I've missed one out. Sorry, we'll do it after this one. How silly. Right, so what you're doing is, not all what you're doing, just what you're doing is raising your arms, but your elbows first. Note how there's a V in front of my face, and then down. I'm going to do it 10 times. 1, this one is all about technique. 2, and it's really good for the muscles at the top of your neck. 3, again, you can do it with weights. 4, but I mean, sometimes I think this is a good one to do without weights, particularly until you get the right technique. 5. With a lot of exercises, technique is all. If you don't use correct technique, you tend to, I think that's 7, you risk injuring yourself. 8, and you won't get as much benefit. 9, 10. Brilliant. So it's these muscles at the back. If you ever lifted a black bag out of your bin, that's one of the things it's good for. Right, what we're going to do is we're going to do a balancing one. It's this one. So you need a chair. Hold on to the chair if you need to balance, if you must, but if you can do it without, that will be fine. We're going to do 5 on each side, so you may be able to do 2 without holding on and then need to hold on for the others. It's entirely up to you. There's no, yesterday when I was on Women's Hour, did I mention I was on Women's Hour? Jenny Murray said, are you allowed to hold on to a chair? Well, yes, you are allowed. The exercise police are not going to come around and stop you holding on to a chair. It's vital that you hold on if your balance isn't good, because the last thing we want is people toppling over. Right, so engage your core, navel into the backbone, release slightly, and then we're going to stand on one leg and then keep your thigh parallel to the floor and then slightly raise it and then down again. And then lift it up a bit more and down. Up a bit more, there, and down. Up a bit more, and down. I think that might be 5, but I'm not sure, so we'll do another one for luck. Up a bit more, and down. Right, other side. Engage core, navel into backbone, hold it, gather everything up nice and tight. Right, up we go, and then up a bit more, and down. 1, up, and down. Parallel, up, and down. Just get your knee up as far as you can take it to go. If you can't get it parallel to the floor, that's absolutely fine. It's all to do with what you can do. Because if you can do it a little bit today, you'll be able to do it a bit more tomorrow or the next time. See, I've lost count again. You made me talk. I'll do one more for luck. Okay? Right, good. Right, we'll go into the stretching now. So the first one we're going to do, yes, is a calf stretch. And if you've been doing this bouncing, your calves will have been taking a bit of a pounding. So it's good to stretch them. Holding onto the chair, one foot out behind, one foot in front. The left leg is bent. Both feet are pointing in the same direction. The back foot, the heel is on the floor, and lean forward. And you should feel a stretch at the top of your calf, behind your knee. And we're going to hold that just for a few seconds. And then we're going to very, very gently bend your back leg. Your heel will come off the floor, unless you've got a very peculiar anatomy, but you should feel the stretch moving down into your Achilles, into your lower calf muscle, your soleus, and your Achilles. And then we'll switch over. So front leg bent, back leg straight. Have a look at your feet. Are they both pointing in the same direction? If the stretch is too strong for you to get your heel on the ground, move your feet closer together, leaning forward, keeping your heel on the ground. Feel that stretch in your calf. We'll hold that for a few seconds, just while I scratch my head. And then very slowly bend your knee. Your heel will come off the ground. Feel the stretch going down into your Achilles. There you go. Right. Next one, you probably need the chair for this. You can either hold your leg like this. Those of you that can, do that now. Those of you that can't get your foot or your trouser leg or your heel, do dynamic stretching. I'm not going to do the one kneeling on the chair because my chair's too uncomfortable. So do the dynamic stretching. Now keep doing that. Those of you that have got hold of your leg, switch to the other leg. So do that one. Those of you that are doing the dynamic stretching, just keep doing that, just gently. You don't need to do it very hard, but you can feel, if you put your hands there, you can feel your muscles. They'll be lengthening like that. Okay? Right, very good. The next one is the hamstring stretch. which are these big muscles on the back of your leg. This is the one people find most difficult. So sitting in the chair, sit towards the front of the chair. I'm sitting this far back so you can see what my legs are doing. Knees at 90 degrees, one foot out, and I'll do this one so you can see. One foot out in front, toe pulled back, dorsiflexion, remember? Sitting up nice and straight, lean forward from your hips, not from the waist. So you lean forward, and it doesn't matter how far you get, it's not a competition to see who can touch way beyond their toes. If you can only get to mid-thigh, that's absolutely fine. Mid-calf, absolutely fine. The stretch is for you. It's not the World Championship of stretching. So we'll hold that for a few seconds. It's really good. If you have tight hamstrings, it can contribute to falling. Okay, sitting up again, nice and straight. Other foot forward, dorsiflexion, foot pulled back, sitting up straight. Lean forward from the hips. Remember, just keep checking that your toe is pulled back because that makes it more excruciating. When I'm doing a class and I hear people groaning, I think, oh yes, it must be working. Not because I'm an incipient sadist. Okay, right. Hands out to the side, palms facing forwards, feet at 90 degrees, feet hip width apart, round a tree, have your arms like that, pretend you're hugging a tree, and then dip your head. And this is, feel your shoulder blades sort of splitting apart, as it were. It's for the big muscles at the top of your shoulders. We'll hold that for a few more seconds. And then to counterbalance, if you can interlock your fingers behind your back, that's fine. If you can't, just have your hands just like that. Just pretend you've got a can of Coke or a can of something that you're trying to squash between your shoulder blades. And if you can get your hands interlinked, just hold your hands out like that, and that stretches your chest. And as older people, females particularly, we need to stretch the chest muscles. And also, if you are hunched over a computer all day, your back muscles get slack, your chest muscles get tight, and we end up with that sort of dowager's hump that none of us want. So it's important to keep your chest muscles stretching out. Right, hand across your body. Take your other hand, push your elbow so that you're stretching this muscle here, the deltoid muscle here. We'll hold that for a few seconds. And then switch, so one arm across, pushing the elbow. And then finally, hand up, down your back, sort of goes down there if you can. If you can't do that, if you've got limited mobility and it hurts, just go as far as you can, because still pushing, it's going to stretch it, okay? If this one hurts, I know this hurts some people, don't do it. That's the golden rule, is if something hurts you, don't do it. And then down, and then over, and back. Right, the last three that we need to do, you need the chair. So, the first one we're going to do, sitting up nice and straight, just dip your head, put your hand on your crown, and just don't push. Let the weight of your hand just gently push your head down, but don't push at all, because the neck is a very delicate thing and we don't want to hurt the neck. And then looking up, turn your head to the left as far as it will go. Put your hand on your chin. You may need to watch this, but put your hand on your chin and then try and turn your head back to the centre, but resist with your hand so that you're creating tension in your neck. Really, really create that tension. And then relax totally and see if you can turn your head just a little bit further to the left. And hold it there for a few seconds. And then bring your head back to the centre, and then turn your head to the right, put your hand on your chin, try and turn it back to the centre, resist, have all that fighting going on, create all that tension in your neck, and then release, and a little bit, see if you can turn it just a tiny bit more, and then bring it back to the centre. And that's the end of today's lesson. Thank you very much for tuning in. Remember, it's on, it'll be on, stored in the video bit of the Facebook page if you need it. Until the next time, Monday, 11 o'clock. Bye.